What's up, math scholars and math haters? This is Mr. W. Today we're going to tackle question 10 in the 5th grade math questions that North Carolina released this past school year. We can see that Mr. Edwards bought a 50-pound bag of flour for his bakery, and it was equally divided among 6 days. How much flour was used per day? Now, in order to do a problem like this and do it well, we need to know how to translate a word problem and also how to work with simplifying fractions. There's a lot of words in this, but it's going to be a bit simpler than I think that most of us would ordinarily think it would be seeing a question like this. Alright, so I want to start with the translating part, and there's actually two different ways to do this. The first way is the way that you'll be more familiar with if you've seen my other videos. If you see the word per is one of the 3 words along with each and every that tells me that I'm going to multiply, and since it's flour per day, then I know that my word sentence is going to be that the amount of flour I use per day times the number of days equals the total flour. I can plug in some of the numbers that I know. I don't know how much flour was used, but I know that Mr. Edwards used it over 6 days, and that it had 50 pounds in it total. And at this point, I could use my fact family trick to say that if I know that some unknown number times 6 equals 50, 50 divided by 6 equals that same unknown number. And so I end up with 50 divided by 6 equals this number that I'm looking for that represents how much flour he uses per day. The other way that I could do this, and I'll use green for this, if it says equally divided among 6 days, 50 pounds is equally divided among 6 days. So I can take this same information and translate it into 50 divided by 6. Now, either of these methods is going to work. Either of those methods is going to give us the same division expression that we're going to turn into a fraction and simplify. Only thing is, some of you might find it simpler to do less work, but some of you might just want to do these questions the same way. And especially if you've been looking back at my other videos, you might see the word per and think, oh, that's going to be multiply. I need to make the multiplication sentence, change that into the number form, and use fact families, just like Mr. W has been doing in most of his other videos on questions like this. Point is, either method will work. The easy method might work because it's easier. The harder method might work because it's more familiar. So with that, let's go ahead and actually figure this out. 50 divided by 6, I'm going to go ahead and turn into a fraction, and I'm just going to say that instead of 50 divided by 6, that's 50 over 6. Next thing I want to do is simplify this and ask what number goes into both 6 and 50. Now at this point, it's helpful to break 6 down into its prime factors, or 2 times 3. We can break 50 down into 2 times 25. I see that 2 goes into both of these, so I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2, divide by 2. 50 divided by 2 gets me 25. 6 divided by 2 gets me 3. This is 25 thirds. But I don't see any answer choice that deals, or that has 25 thirds. But I do see some answer choices that are mixed numbers. These look like they're most probably going to be right, so I'm going to have to go ahead and turn this into a mixed number. So my question is, how many times does 3 go into 25? Well, if I try to write out a 3 times table, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, I hit 27, and that's too many. So 3 can go into 25, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And I know this is going to be 8 and something thirds. So to get this something, I just need to figure out 25, my original denominator, minus 24, how much I took out in whole groups of thirds. So 25 minus 24, 2 tens minus 2 tens is no tens. 5 minus 4 is just 1. This gets me to 8 1/3, which is my answer.